Hi, hello everyone. This is the first time to meet in person online. So I'm Joe, the CFO from HAG, and we are really appreciate that you joined our online AMA tonight, or like this day, because we got a global community. So we would like to first conduct our YouTube like live stream AMA, and to try to be like language friendly. So bear with me if you cannot understand English well. We will upload the video afterward, and I think you could use the translations in the YouTube. So you know language you that so yeah today is you guys here for the first time in-house using the YouTube stream. So today we have prepared some, like great amount of questions that might interesting in, and maybe you could raise some questions in our live chat. We will have some staff to answer your questions, collect your questions, and I will answer it directly to you. So yeah, how about that? Go start. Okay. LX HHG questions. I will be excited. The first time in person, I you will have more to first question. Let's go start. So let me repeat it today. So the first question is, what is HAG, hash rate asset group? So hash rate asset group basically is the world first security token that provide investors with perpetual computing power. So HAG token stands for hash rate asset group tokens. It is also the only security token that pays the dividends in WBTC, I mean in Wrapped Bitcoin on a monthly basis. And I think this is kind of like really industry leading innovations to give you guys have the direct access to the Bitcoin mining in a transparent, compliance, and sustainable way. And HAG has evolved into a true interest earning asset in the crypto industry. Yeah, I think this is a good question. Okay, I see there's a second question. Great. So what is security token offering? I think this is a good question because security token is kind of new to the markets, and I think I would like to elaborate in this way. So security token offering, the STO, refer to a type of public offering in security tokens, which is issued under the premise of the legal compliance solutions to comply with numerous security legislation requirements. Security tokens must be registered with or filled out through the Security and Exchange Commission's SEC. Security tokens are only permitted to be traded on licensed exchange. In our case, it is INX. Because of the compliance barriers, so it's hard, for everyone to easily get this kind of compliance. But I think this kind of compliance provide additional layer of trust. STO assists the blockchain industry establish the trust from investors and explore the potential supervision methods by integrating the digital currency and traditional finance in a specific ways to standardize the development of the industry. And I think this is especially important when we got all the hustle and bustle in the previous year. The issue of HAG is a security token offering, so which is fully compliant and regulated by SEC. So again, so HAG gives you the direct access to the Bitcoin mining in a compliance, transparent, and sustainable way. Okay, that's Q3. So Q3, what are the advantages of the Bitcoin as an asset? So yeah, I think you must heard some good news about Bitcoin when we talk about some like spot ETF or some like traditional money. They're refocus on the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is by far the most open finance systems. It is decentralized and programmable, and the encryption technology ensure the security and the privacy of the network. So um, it's more like like for like US dollars, those policies centralized by the government. But for Bitcoin, this is all about the protocol that on the white paper and everything's transparent. Bitcoin is deflationary, which means that it generally appreciates over the long term. Like if you look into a figure that in the past 11 years, Bitcoin has been the asset with the highest rate of return for 9 years. So when you think Bitcoin as an asset, it got several advantages like security, decentralized, I think self-sovereignty, programmable, and I think for if you look into as a financial instrument, Bitcoin also get the great performance. So one last thing I would like to talk about Bitcoin is about the real scarcity. Like everyone know that gold is kind of scarce asset, but no one really know that how much gold is left on the earth. You know, but Bitcoins it is specified only 21 million Bitcoin could be minted overall. So I think one of the things that is good for Bitcoin is that Bitcoin has a true scarcity. Okay, that's all about Q3. Let me look into Q4. Okay, Q4. What are the corresponding assets when purchasing HHG? I think this is also a good one. I think purchase like one HAG is aims to peg to 1 terahash per second on a Bitcoin mining. So purchasing HAG is equivalent to having the corresponding perpetual hash rate that continuously mining the Bitcoin and earn a monthly BTC revenue. I think, like I said, because one HAG m equals 1 terahash per second on a Bitcoin mining. So buying an HAG, you are just like buying part of the mining equipments, and that is you have the direct access to the Bitcoin mining industry itself. Yeah, I think this is all about like HAG. I think having the underlying asset is important, especially when we are talking about HAG, because compared to like the cloud mining actually what you acquire or what you invest is the right to claim the revenue, but you are not owning the hash power directly. And I think HAG is different because buying HAG, you directly own hash power. That's totally different things. And that makes us differentiate from the like cloud mining kind of products. Yeah, thank you, Philippe, to join our AMA tonight. We're really honored to have you guys here. Thank you so much, Philippe. And shout out to all the Korean peoples, communities, of course, and all the community members from all around the world. We appreciate it. Okay, let's start at Q5. How is the price, means $39 per token, determined for the HAG offering? I think we try to make the pricing policy as transparent as possible to our investors in our PPN. So the pricing method adjusts the final price of exchange to better align with the actual cost of attempting necessary hash power. I think this is especially makes sense because one HAG equals 1 terahash per second. This is what we say, like specifically. So, in order to acquire sufficient hash power, we need to make the pricing aligned with the actual cost of attempting the hashing power. In fact, you know, when you check out the PPM, I think you might find the format that maybe the floor is 48, but now it's 39. You might have the questions why, right? And I think this is first is about this is better aligned with the actual cost, and secondly, this showcase that HAG has a strong capability of operations, including mining farm collaboration, fee negotiation, and operation optimizations. So that's why our launch price could have this kind of downward adjustment that reflect the better price, right? So the launch price reflect include but not limited to the cost, including mining equipment itself, the shipment, the customs, the custody, insurance, or other operation expenses. So I think this is kind of like important things, but trivial stuff, time-consuming stuff for you guys. So I think this could showcase HAG to have the benefit for you guys because we handle all this kind of logistic stuff. So what you have to do to enter the Bitcoin mining industry is to buy the HAG. That is, it's simple. So I think overall about the actual cost for acquiring hashing power, we will disclose the related financial information and will be audited by the third parties and disclosed annually. By the way, feel free to ask more questions in the chat. I would like keep eyes on this part. So feel free to ask questions. Okay, the sixth question is how does the HAG calculate the net yield for the security token holders? I think that's a good question. I think for net yield, it will be defined in the master token agreement. So net yield is basically the gross Bitcoin yield from mining operation minus like the following cost, including but not limited to electricity cost, the gas fee for like distributing the WBTC dividends, and the mining pool commission fees. Because for the mining, you have to first mine out the BTC, put it into the mining pool, and then you could have some further the application on this. So this is also important. And that's my like the next thing will be the mining facility operation cost and overhead. I think this is especially important as well because buy the mining equipment is one thing, but how to maintain the mining equipment is another thing, right? So that's important as well. So other costs including other direct costs of mining, taxes that might incur by the company, and some listing fee on the INX. So this is all some like consideration we should consider, when we are talking about net yield that will be deducted from the gross yield. I think in computing net yield, like neither the management fee nor the company's general administrative cost will be subtracted from the gross Bitcoin yield. And I think the income tax for HH holders that the company is required to withhold. I think, for your local tax, I think you should consult your like tax agency for more details. So yeah, again, in brief, net yield is different from the gross yield. When we consider net yield, we will deduct several things I mentioned above, and I think what will be on your hand is the net yield from the Bitcoin mining. And I think, of course, all the financial information will be disclosed, like and audited by the third party and disclosed annually. So HAG try to make everything like transparent as possible. And I think this is pretty important, like among investors and also the HAG we sell. Great, awesome. So okay, the Q7. Wow, it's kind of long questions, I would say. So question 7, what is the estimated return on the investment for HAG STO tokens? And how does the dividend payout process work? And how often are dividends paid out? I think HAG has two layers of value propositions. So the fundamental value will be highly correlated to Bitcoin price, because when you use the cost method, um, the one, like one HAG equals to one T on hash power. So hash power is part of mining equipments. So based on historical data, the mining equipment is highly correlated to Bitcoin price. So HAG has a fundamental value that is highly correlated to the Bitcoin price. So for this part, we do not have any guidance on this part, but I think this is also an important part when you're considering investing in HAG. And another part would be the second layer of our value. There will be dividends. The dividends will be on a monthly basis in WBTC, and the detailed process for dividends distribution will be disclosed in our PPM. I think the PPM will disclose before the launch of HAG. I think you can check it out on INEX, the website now. So, and one thing we could guarantee is that all the distribution is assigned to the licensed transfer agent, and we will ensure that every process is safe, legitimate, and correct and compliant as well. So, in brief, there are two layers of value when we talk about HAG and when we talk about the return on the HAG. The fundamental value is we do not have any comment on this, but this is highly correlated to Bitcoin price based on historical data. The second layer of the return will be dividends. So yeah, I think you can stay tuned to our Telegram group. We will disclose some weekly recap on the mining industry. So maybe you could do some calculations. And when we start distributing, I think all the data will be on-chain and transparent. So I think this is a good thing about blockchain. Everything is verifiable and transparent. Okay, QA. Let me see. How long do you plan to get online and start providing dividends to investors once fundraising ends? And will the BTC dividend to be paid during this STO period? I think HAG will distribute dividends 65 days after the change is closed. And based on the PPM, we will make sure that the mining equipment start running 65 days after the launch is officially closed as well. So before such day, there will be no revenue distribution. So that is, the revenue counting will be 65 days after the launch is officially closed. So though the duration of the launch is determined by the management team, we'll make sure that we keep communicating with you guys, with the community, about the progress and the latest plan. And I think we are on the same boat with you guys because, um, of course, we want to close each change as soon as possible to start doing the Bitcoin mining like as fast as possible. So I think for this part, you guys could you know have some less concern because we're on the same board on this part. Okay, so this is about QA. Okay, here's a Q9. How long is the STO period? I think, yeah, this is one of the most frequently asked questions to us. I think there's no defined duration, and I think the launch will be in two tranches. So we will not wait till the maximum is reached to close the first tranche or close each tranche. And I think the 65 days duration will start counting when each tranche is closed, not necessarily when the not necessarily when the whole offering is closed. So for the possibility of early termination of each change, I think again we are on the same boat with you guys, our investors, that the earlier is better. So we will terminate each change once the economy of scale is reached. By the way, we will communicate the progress, of course, with our community members and stay tuned. And I think one thing I would add would be that the whole process, like for the whole offering under the PPM, is determined on the PPM as well. So it will be like no less than like 1 years. Yeah. So this is about like the duration about still periods. And I think quick takeaway is that we are on the same boat. Anyway, we might have some like free time to answer like the questions you raised in the live chat. So please feel free to ask any questions. I'm more than happy to answer all the questions here. Okay, the Q10. Here we go. Will the price of the token be the same in each change? I think this is also the good questions. And I think like also the people who will ask these kind of questions showcase that they really read through our PPM, and I think we really appreciate that. So I think the answer to this question is it depends. Kind of bad answer, but I know let me elaborate more. Before there is the existing secondary market for HAG, the price of the change could be based on the Bitcoin reference price. And if there is a secondary market price for HAG, the price of the change could be based on HAG market price. So there are two kind of bases: the Bitcoin reference price or the HAG market price. Of course, the company will adjust, the HAG will adjust the final price of each change to better align with the actual price of attempting the hash power. So I think even though just like why we have our first launch price at 39 instead of 48, this is this is from that the price should reflect the actual price of attempting the price of hashing power. So yeah, good questions. Q11, let's go. So is there any difference between the early change and the late change aside from the distribution dates? Are there any special incentive for the early change? I think the main difference could include, but not limited to the starting date to receive the dividends, the offering price of different tranches, and the value of WBTC that you will receive for the Bitcoin price fluctuations. So, like I say, there are two bases of when we are determining our launching price. So they might be affected. So like the first change might not be the same as the second change when we are talking about launching price. So that will be the difference. And like I said, the value of Bitcoin might fluctuate a lot. So the Bitcoin you get, maybe you might get some like, the Bitcoin at some low cost, but that doesn't guarantee anything. That's only some I guess. So the pricing strategy might move to like HEG price, market price basis once the secondary market exists. So HEG aims to maintain the 1 terahash per second on the Bitcoin hashing power from Bitcoin mining. So, like I say, if you use the cost method to evaluate the HEG, it will be part of mining equipment's price. And based on historical data, those mining equipment price is highly correlated to Bitcoin price. So in this sense, I think the fundamental value of HEG should be like highly correlated to Bitcoin price. And I think this is for only for your judgments. So so again, I think the main difference between the early change and that change will be first the starting date to receive dividends, and I think there might be some offering price differences between the early change and later change, and also the like fluctuation on the Bitcoin price. Okay, I think there's members named Tat Siva. Correct me if my pronunciation is bad. So this math asks like how much APY percentage will be if the BTC goes up 1 million, like approximately, please. I think that's a good question. I think currently the Bitcoin price now today will be around like 30k. So this makes they just ask like how about moving from 30k to $100 million per BTC. I think that'll be crazy. But I think what I could answer is that HAG, like I said, the fundamental value of HAG is highly correlated to Bitcoin price itself based on historical data. It means the historical data is a highly correlated correlation between the price of mining equipment and also the Bitcoin price. So in this sense, maybe you could have some like imagination on this part, but we do not have any comments on this part as well because for compliance. So I think for the chat, thank you so much for this for these questions. I think the investor who already invested in HAG also think that might have some like like positive view on the future Bitcoin price. So I think if you like the Bitcoin price, believe in the future of Bitcoin, please, learn more, learn deep about HAG. I think we could share like some great experiences we have in the mining industry back from the 2014. And mining is like different than the Bitcoin itself, but Bitcoin minings, you know, it is the infrastructure provider to the Bitcoin network. So if you Bitcoin believe in the Bitcoin's future, I think you should really take part in the Bitcoin mining itself. Yeah, great questions. Okay, I see. Our admins posts the Q12. So if I invest in 5k in the first tranche, does every following investment need to be 500k? I think that's a really good question. I think HAG's vision is to let everyone have the direct access to the Bitcoin minings without the high threshold. So we cut down this threshold from like maybe like $100 million to only 5k. But 5k to be true, might not that easy for everyone as well. I think it doesn't mean anything. I think we noticed that. So we try to communicate with Annex, and I think we get some good feedback from Annex. So we just get the permission from Annex about potential like minor investments following your initial investment that pays the 5K. So Annex mentions like on the investment page, the investor will not be able to enter a lesser amount. However, if you send a lesser amount in fiat to the bank to HAG's bank account or in crypto to HAG's wallet, this is not something that will be rejected. Again, this is not something that will be rejected. So in other words, it is acceptable. So again, in brief, you could have some like following investment that is less than 5K following your first change of investment that already pays the 5K. So yeah, that's a really good questions. And maybe I could give you some example. Like, for example, if you have committed a 5K investment to HAG, you could invest additional 2K to HAG. And such 2K should be directly sent to HAG's official bank account or the wallet address, same as the one you saw on the investment page on Annex. And in fact, this logic could be applied to HAG's subsequent tranches as well. To be more specific, if you invest in 5K in the first tranche, you could invest additional 2K in the second tranche using the method I mentioned above. So I think this is a good example to showcase that. I think this is kind of favorable turn to our HAG's investors. Yeah, I think Tats just like reply me. Thank you, Tats. I think this is a great question, and I hope you enjoy investing in HAG. Appreciate it. Okay, the Q13. Can HAG tokens be traded freely on the secondary market? If so, how to ensure the liquidity? I think HAG could be traded freely on the secondary market. And I think the day that could start the HAG secondary market will be the 45 days after the initial tranches is closed based on the PPM. And because of the compliance, such a secondary market is currently separated from the crypto market because you need to have a license to hold the security token trading platform like INX. I think security token is the future for its compliance, so the liquidity might have some huge space to grow. Like one thing you could consider about HAG is liquidity. Like in the past, when you want to buy certain mining equipment, it might take about 5 to 6 months to make an order, get those mining equipment shipped, and then set up and maintain. And when you want to sell your mining equipment, you need to take like additional like times to resell your mining equipment. So what to do in the future is that you just click to buy the HAG or click to sell HAG. It's fast. So this kind of liquidity comparison, I think this is a huge improve. I think furthermore, compare with the direct investing in the mining pools and the liquidity of underlying RWA security token, I think the liquidity of security like HAG is much better. So one thing that you could consider is that HAG token security token is based on ERC 144, I think, which is might be applicable to ERC 20. So in this way, there's some like imagination space for us to consider some like HAG's potentials. But again, for the compliance issue, we do not have any comment on this part. We only took this from the technical perspective, but not the compliance perspective. So yeah, I think to consider about liquidity, you could first compare liquidity with the underlying asset itself, and maybe there's some like more potential liquidity for security tokens compliance that might attract more market tractions, and also the DeFi, like the ERC20 kind of DeFi, but that's still far from us. Okay, the Q14. Could the APY be lower during the next halving effect of the Bitcoin? I think we do have some like financial outlook on our official website. This financial outlook, we try to average out the fact and take many factors into considerations, including but not limited to the mining difficulty, the rewards from the Bitcoin mining, and the hash rate, replenishment, and others. I think those factors fluctuate a lot and it's hard to predict. So we provide the financial outlook in this sense and try to make sure that we average out all this effect to give you have some like reader friendly kind of outlook. I think there are many discussions about the potential Bitcoin price movement given the halving effect that is about to come, like I think in the Q2 in 2024. I think for the price itself, I mean the Bitcoin like potential Bitcoin movements, we do not have any comments on this. But you know, in fact, unpredictable APY could be a positive or negative thing because the having effect on the Bitcoin price might or might not affect the APY in a positive or negative way. Like one viewpoint for a community member to think to consider is that this is not the first halving in the Bitcoin network, and miners still exist, right, in the industry. So it means that every, every like after every halving effect, the mining is still profitable in the past, right? And our management team stepped into the Bitcoin mining industry back in 2014, and we are still here. So I think this showcased that our management team do have some strong capability of handling this kind of having effect. And I think from the dollar size, I mean USD basis kind of consideration when we talk about APY, and given the having effect, I think this kind of like having effect might or might not have some like effect on a big like from APY based on dollar signs. So yeah, I think this is all about whether the Bitcoin price movement will be uptrend given the next halving. But like when we look back into the historical data, I think every halving effect, there is always a clear uptrend cycle when we talk about Bitcoin price. Again, the financial outlooks, I think, is for reference with assumptions that I mentioned about. And we will disclose the financial statements annually, and such statements will be audited by the third parties. Okay, the Q15. If the mining equipments become obsolete or the latest model become available, will the cost of replacing it be borne by the investors? And how many years will be capital investment take? I think the newer version doesn't necessarily means a better chance to win the competition contest, but could mean like the better efficiency in terms of electricity cost. You know, according to our tokenomics, the 30% of net yield will be distributed directly to you guys in WBTC, and the remaining 30% of net yield is the resources to maintain or replace the hash power from the mining equipments. So we have provided the potential replenish plan in our financial outlook. But usually, the service life for mining equipment could typically range from 3 years to 5 years. Therefore, uh, what you see on the financial outlook is kind of conservative outlook. That doesn't necessarily means the results. So, to be honest, there are many old versions still in use by other miners, and they are still profitable to them. So I think like the older version doesn't necessarily mean bad because when you run those older version with efficiency, I think you could still win some like competition contest. So by the way, we still have some like maintain the hash bar maintain from our tokenomics. So I think that's why we think HHG should be sustainable in the hash power behind HHG. So yeah, I think this is my answer to the Q15. By the way, my throat is not feeling good today, so bear with me with my voice if you think my voice is bad or uh, it's not a typical voice that will listen. It will hurt when you talk with me, like typically. So appreciate appreciate. I think yeah, we will open like 3 to 4 minutes if everyone have some more questions. Yeah, I think thank you admins to raise some frequently asked questions. Yeah, I would like to open the floor like 2 minutes or so to make sure everyone have some like more question to ask. Yeah, feel free to ask and enjoy the music. By the way, maybe we will like hold more this kind of MA in the future with you guys because we want to make sure everything is compliance transparent enough to you guys. So I think feel free to raise any questions in the MA or raise any questions in the Telegram groups. So we are more than happy to answer all the questions. Okay, I think this is not the only chance that I will or we will answer the questions raised from you guys. I think you could, like I say, you could raise more questions anytime in the Telegram groups, and we are more than happy to answer you. So I think this is all for tonight or today. I think we appreciate that for your time to join this MA using this kind of like YouTube kind of live stream versions. So I think yeah, enjoy your night, enjoy your day, and I think we look forward to like many more many more MAs in the future. So